Okay, so there's a another order by the machine, Jeff, and it's valid. This is being controlled. This isn't HF. This is not chipper. This is HFT2. So that's a valid order. Don't think we're going to see any movement at the end. We do have this, excuse me, the strategy kind of locked up with both profit targets and stop losses, and so we are tracking our performance. We'll see how we do here. And I haven't run an analysis on it. We were running a profit factor of 2. I think that's been cut back. I'm going to try not to do any intervention. I'm not going to hopefully do any mechanical intervention. I just want to let the program run, hopefully for the full day, maybe until 3, 4 o'clock. We are live at the moment on YouTube. And we're giving you a free spot view. Today is March 5th at about 10 a.m. And if you have any questions about who we are, what we're about, we invite you to visit Stock Market Caddy. We invite you to post any questions in the chat function, and I'll try to get a peek. We're doing other things and working on other things, but we'll try to look at it periodically and answer any questions you have. If you want us to plug in a stock or a market into Swing Machine, I'm happy to do that. Different from yesterday, we had a full view of Swing Machine with all the major markets there. You can do this with any of the markets, stocks as well. Today, though, or since midnight, we've been running a specific program that we're working on, and that's what you're seeing here. And we're super focused right now just on the NASDAQ, at least this view. If you had been, which we're not, you might say, well, why don't you just run Swing Machine? Well, we could, and we do. Um, and we certainly would be doing better if we had taken these trades. So let's go ahead and highlight this. But we like to do different things. So if you had taken Swing Machine here short at 8:40 this morning, you'd be up 2,500 bucks with a mini contract. Now, if you had done it with a micro contract, you would be up $250. Now, if you had done it with 10 minis, and you say, Don, who the hell trades 10 minis? These folks are trading hundreds of these things, hundreds of them, thousands of them. They're like potato chips. There's some guy sitting in a yacht off of Monte Carlo, and he's just traded 1,000 of them. I mean, this is where they play, folks. But if you had traded 10 of them, 10 of them, you'd be up 27 grand. And if you think you would impact the market, you won't. There have been studies done. If you placed an order for 100 mini contracts, you might move the market a tick. So they're pretty liquid. 1 minute is also running. So they all right around 8:30, 8:40. Maybe they had the ISM number early, or some of the other numbers. Maybe they got the jobs number early for Friday, or maybe they're just done. It is March 5th, the Ides of March, and we've been talking about this for months. Be wary in March, folks. And we are not. If you want to be, put a label bull bear, we're not bullish up here. We're just not, and it's not where we would be committing new monies up here. We would be and have been, taking profits, getting defensive, getting on the dark side. If you have any questions, let us know. For those that are on YouTube, all of the trading that you're seeing take place here, we're simply tracking the price action of the NASDAQ in a very unique fashion, and we have a pretty sophisticated algorithm trading it for us. So all the trades are going in by the computer. I'm hands-free, right? It's in autopilot. Now I could intervene, right? You could intervene if you were doing this. You could go up and say, "Hey, you know what? I'm up $200. I'm going to take that $200. Thank you." We could do that, but we're not, because we do want to capture this data, and we want to try not to do that as much as we can. But you could. I just want you to know that we draw a distinction between discretionary trading, mechanical trading, robotic trading, and robotic hedging. Robotic hedging is like playing three-dimensional chess. So that's a different animal. We will do some of that down the road in view for YouTube, but that's maybe, you gotta kind of go slow. Now, what is discretionary trading? Discretionary trading is something like this. You hear somebody talking about Dogecoin, on the internet or on TV, and you have no idea what Dogecoin is, but you hear everybody talking about Dogecoin, and you think, well, I'm going to do this, and you know what, I'm going to put my whole IRA, all my money, or, into Dogecoin. Okay, that's discretionary trading. And Dogecoin goes up, 200%, 300%. And you're like, man, I got to put more money in because it's going up. And, and I made so much. And they put even more money in, and Dogecoin goes up and up and up. And everybody is hodling on Dogecoin. Literally, that's what's happening. I think Dogecoin, Doggy Coin, they call it, has gone from like 8 cents to like 19 cents. So if you had done that, you're looking great. At some point, though, they'll pull the plug, and Dogecoin will go to zero, and everybody will be wanging and and crying. But that's discretionary trading. Um, there will be some people that get in and get out and maneuver it just fine, and there will be some, but most won't. The other issue for discretionary trading is and there's a profit target. All right, so the machine took the profit right on the numbers, right on it. That is a beautiful thing. That is beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, Jeff, everybody. I am very, very pleased with this right now. Very, very good. Very, very good. Let's the more frequently, although it's important, I don't want to be talking out of both sides of my mouth. It's like, wait a minute, Don, discretionary trading bad, discretionary trading good. What? I don't understand. Discretionary trading is not good or bad. It is what it is. It's important to have good discretionary trading skills. We think we're pretty good. We think we're damn good, but the challenge is when you're trading discretionary and you pick up the frequency, it becomes more difficult, right? So if you're not trading a lot, right, and you're looking to get into the market, for instance, you probably want to get into the market when nobody wants to get into a market, right? And we have systems that can do that. But you go in on a discretionary basis, and you go in when things are really beaten down. And you hold on. Nothing wrong with that. But if you're trying to trade in, and you take that success that you have and try to do that, 4 or 5 times in a week or 4 or 5 times in a day, that's when it falls apart, because there is no, the discretionary aspect of it dissipates when you increase the frequency. So what do? Well, that's when we think you have to move toward becoming a more mechanical trader. Okay. Well, what's that? Well, that opens up, an infinite possibilities. And it's very, very important to be a very, very good mechanical trader. And plus, you get away from the greed and the fear. Then once you become really, really good mechanically trading, then we begin to use the robots. And that's a beautiful thing. Because then I can take Ted out to the mailbox and, can, go do other things. and the machine is doing what it's doing. In fact, let me share with you, I'm going to pull up a trade manager analysis. And this robot's been running since last night. And you may want to know, our members may want to know, what has this done? Give me some of the details, Don. So let me do that. So we're running a profit factor of 2.29. We're making $2.29 for every dollar we expend. Huh, I didn't know that. Okay, so you got to know what a profit factor is. And we have had 7 trades and we've won on 57%. So we're doing a little bit better, or actually a lot better than what the model actually showed us. What model? That's the back test, right? So any case, if you have any questions, let us know. Kind of gave you a mouthful there to think about. And that's why we do these YouTube videos, is to give you a glimpse. And the first step of learning anything is recognizing something that you're interested in, and suddenly you realize somebody is doing something different. And I draw the comparison to when I used to go fly fishing. And I thought I was fly fishing. And I went trip after trip after trip and never caught a fish. And then one day, a gentleman walks into the river beside me that I had been standing in for a couple of hours and starts catching fish like crazy. I'm like, what in the hell is he doing? And more importantly, what was I doing? So I trudged out of the water, kind of down on my dauber, sat on the bank, and watched him fish and catch fish. Long story short, when he came out, I went over and talked with him, and he gave me some tips. And one of the tips was, Don, you probably don't want to put your fly line through the little hook by the handle. There's a little eyelet there, and it's meant to hold your hook. But I was feeding the line through it. I went in the world. Talk about a technical mistake for fly fishing. I couldn't even throw the line. I'm like, oh man, that was stupid. I had been doing that for God knows how many trips, and I thought I was fly fishing. So if you're out there trading and you're following Steve Neeson's candles from the 1970s, you got CNBC on, you got IBD, you're listening to this, you're listening to that. You're bullish gold one day, you're bearish crypto the next year, this year, that. Let me know how that works out for you. When you're done with all that and you want to start catching some fish, check us out. So we have the ES futures are down 39 handles. NASDAQ down 300, just about 1%, which is next to nothing. The YM down 176 points. Let's see what else we got going on here. Within the stock world, let's go get a look here. And we can bring into view, this is our tool that our members will be using. Bear with me and bring this into view. I'll try to, well, maybe I can't, but here it is here. This is called the SMC Trade Generator, Old Dominion Freight. It's actually up three something percent, 3.8%, down 18 bucks. Sell signal, sell, buy signal on Zion Bank, crazy enough. This tool is generating about 20 signals and profitable in all but one. I'm sorry, it's a little bit out of view here, so we'll just kind of get this out of the way. But this is where we're getting our trades from our tools. We're not scouring the internet, and we're not holding on for dear life. We'll leave that to everybody else. That we're not doing. I don't think so. Let's take a look at who's up, who's down. NVR is up 70. Target is up 18. Go figure. DaVita up 10. CEG, we've been watching this one for a while. That's up $8. It's an energy. Costco is up 4. Goldman Sachs is up 3. But on the downside, we've got Now, NOW, ServiceNow down 39, Broadcom down 33, Booking down 26, Adobe down 23, something called FICO for Isaac down 23, Intuit down 22, Synopsys down 22, Albemarle down 18, Netflix down 17, Old Dominion down 17. It's just a little profit taking. Don't you love that one there? It's a little profit taking. I used to say to Susan, what are they doing? A little profit taking. They're taking money out of my account. I'm a little tired of that. I want to do a little profit taking. Or do you want to hold on for dear life? That ain't me, folks. No, I'm not going out that way. If I'm going out, I'm going out swinging. Great movie, by the way, we saw last night on Netflix, called the Forgotten War or the Forgotten Battle, World War II picture, a story that I was somewhat familiar with, but not fully. Great story. Where's that with that? That generation where they were special, but very, very interesting. So I could, once again, that position's up 300. If I went to my machine, I could go right to that position and I could trap that order. I could just capture that profit, or I could let the machine run it. I'm going to let the machine run it if you don't mind. She's doing pretty well. And but you could, right? You have to learn how to do that. Look at Swing Machine. That 840 tea time, you're up $4,000, $4 grand. If you put 10 of them on, you're up 42,000. Take the rest of the week off. Oh my goodness. Folks, these markets are up like 10, 15% for the year. With what we got facing us in the next several months, oh, this summer, oh Jesus. You know what these political this is a presidential year. These conventions, these political conventions, oh, I know the Democrat is going to be in Chicago. That's going to be a beautiful place. Hmm. Scenes of 1968, maybe. I'm not sure where the Republican Party is. I hope they're not in Florida. I'll have to do a Google search. I'm not sure where they are. Um, so I guess what I'm saying is it's gonna be a hot summer. And it's gonna be a very volatile market, especially going into the fall. God only knows. And we love volatility. So when the market goes up every day and you're long, great, great, everybody's getting rich. But when the market goes down, oh, not so good. Now what? Now what do? You know, then the market goes up. Oh, you're right. These you can see this rip, right? I'm not typing that in. The machine is reading this. So we are in a downtrend, but it's ripping. This is on a point and figure, but it's ripping against that. Now I could use that as a marker. I probably should go in and take that profit there, but I'm going to sit on my hands and going to let the machine run it out, right? We got good profits, so but I could, right? That's what I'm trying to convey to you. You don't have to be all or nothing, but I think you're going to do better if you can get your trading into a mechanical robotic state, robotic, mechanical, mechanical, robotic, go back and forth, forth and back, and get away from all the discretionary, all what we would refer to as the noise. And so I don't want to add to it. Any questions, you let us know. We'll let you watch. Okay, I just stepped away for a moment. See, part of the problem is when you're trading discretionary or you're, pushing the trigger, not to mention you get carpal tunnel syndrome, your hands form fitted to the mouse, and then you get into all these emotional traps. And that is, boy, I can't buy it now. It's too extended. It's too extended. You know, or I can't short it now. It's too low. It's too low. And you're looking at stochastics and MACDs and all that nonsense. And it keeps you from acting. Oh man, oh geez, I lost $300. I can't, oh, if I lose again, and you do bring about what you think about too. I can't put on another trade. Oh, all these emotions, boy, I just had five in a row. I can't get another one. Maybe you can, right? Machine doesn't have any of that. It doesn't do that. It just executes. And they're using machines, folks. You don't see the traders on the floor anymore. If you're turning on CNBC, that is a mirage. When they go to the floor and you see, is Bob Piss Pants Pisani, is he still on? Remember him? The reason why it reminds me of Barney Fife. And I call him Piss Pants Pisani, just like Joe Bag of Donuts had nicknames, Steve Weisman had nicknames for them all, because during 9/11, he reminded me of Barney Fife. He was so nervous. He was, oh my God, I couldn't even stand looking at him. And but he'll go, they'll they'll go to the what is supposedly the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, and then we're standing there like there's a bunch of traders. There's nobody there. They got coffee shops. They're selling T-shirts in there. There's nobody there. This is all done in machine world. The NASDAQ is a warehouse full of computers in northern New Jersey. There's nobody there. These brokers, boutique brokers and stuff, they're salespeople. They're selling you stories. It's, hey, Teddy, what are you doing? Teddy, Teddy. That's my golden. What are you doing, Teddy? You're getting a little bit big to get under the desk there. Ted loves a good market sell-off. We do too. So if you're trading with emotion, you get caught up with all that, and they know you'll get caught up with it, and they'll get you. Now, the reason, we're down just the return is 1%. The market's down 1.26% from the signal, but we're up thousands of dollars because these are leveraged positions. Why not, right? Why not? When you're trading with surgical precision. But if you're out there, like I say, and you got Steve Neeson's book that's new to you, and it's overpriced, and you're reading about candles, and there's another profit target. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Market. Right? So we could turn off today, but I'm going to continue to run because we're traders, and we want to be able to show our members some of this data at the end of the day. So they're here, by the way. They get to see what we're doing each and every day through Zoom. They're having an issue with anything, they can reach us. But what you might want to know is what they want to know is, what have we done thus far? Can you tell me, Don, what the profit factor is on this strategy? So since midnight running this, let me tell you. Going to generate a report. There it is. We're running a profit factor of 2.87. That is a beautiful thing. We're making $2.87 for every dollar we expend. We've had 8 trades since midnight, and we've won on 62.5% of them. A beautiful thing. How much time have we been in the market? Let me show you. Let me go get it. We have been in the market for the time we've been running 43%. So it's a little bit high, a little bit high. But we're running better than the model. So I just need to stay out of the way. But Don, the market's been going down, 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 and it's been shorting. Yeah. And this strategy, if the market starts running up, guess what it's going to start doing? It's going to start buy. What the hell are you doing? I'm reminded of the scene from Caddyshack. Remember Rodney Dangerfield, God love him? You know, he's got the big bag with all the golf clubs in there. He's got a radio, he's got a bar, a tap, beer tap, a phone. He had the regular phone. He's talking to his broker. They're selling, then buy. They're buying, then sell, sell, sell. God love him. A lot of truth to that. A lot of truth to that, right? Oh my goodness. Where else can you have so much fun? If you have any questions, let us know. I hope you're having fun with whatever it is you're doing. If you're not, stop. Just stop. Take a break. Reassess, regroup, come out of the river. I use that, as an example when I was fly fishing up in the beautiful Toccoa River, Horseshoe Park. Susie's sitting there and reading a book, and I go waltzing into the river with my waders, and I got all my gear and I'm ready to go and catch all kinds of fish, and I don't catch nothing. And I was so frustrated because we had taken so many trips. I wasn't catching anything. And I'm like, you know what, Susie, I don't even think there's any fish in this river. I don't even, but I could see some of them. I could never catch one. And then some guy comes in. He's about 100 yards from me. I could see him, and all of a sudden he's in the river for like 15 minutes, catches a trout. I'm like, what what? What? And Susan, and then he catches another one. And now at that point, Susan stops reading her book. She's like, look at that. And now she's watching him. He's catching fish. This dude's, he caught a lot of fish. And then, like I said, I got down on my dauber and I came out. And Susan said to me, Donnie, why don't you go talk? No, I don't want to go talk to him. I don't want to. No, I don't want to. I wanted to sulk. Hey, I don't know. I don't know. I don't get it. Got all this gear, got all this stuff. I read about all this fly fishing and can't catch anything. Donnie, talk to him. I don't want to disturb him. So I sat on the bank of the river. Susan read the book, and I watched this dude catch fish, and I didn't want to intrude. And then when he came out, I went over and talked. And he was a very nice guy. And he gave me a couple of pointers that really turned the corner. And actually, I went back out. And believe it or not, I broke the ice. I caught a fish. But one of the tips that he said was, Don, the point we had introduced ourselves said, when you go to an area, you might want to hire a guide. You might want to talk to somebody who's fished this river before. You might want to do that. Practical advice. The first step in learning anything is you must have a passion to want to do whatever it is you want to do. If you're not interested in fly fishing, don't bother buying the gear, right? It's going to be very, very frustrating. Don't even bother. If you're interested in fly fishing or trading, you might want to look around and see what others are doing, especially those people that are catching the fish real time. We're giving you a chance to sit on the bank of the river and watch. How many others are doing this and letting you do it? No, they'll show you tonight. I will bring into view our programs that are doing it right here, right now, not just this one. We got dozens of others. And we're giving you a chance to watch. And then from there, you get a chance to decide what you want to do. You want to bitch and moan to your wife? There's no fish in this river. I can't do it. Or do you want to get serious about it? Now, I can't spend every single day with you from here on out. but I can spend about 3 weeks with you. That's the way we got it set up. But I can only do this for so many people a year because there's only so many weeks in the year. And the question is it going to be you or going to be somebody else? We have a limited number. And look at what the machine just did. It shorted again. You probably were looking at your stochastics and, like, man, it's going to go up, right? Maybe it is going to go up. And if it does go up, we'll stop out and we'll get a small loss. And I'll get some water in my waders. But I'm not going to drown, right? You don't want to go in the river and go fishing and drown, not be able to go fishing again. And one day, and I still dream of the day when fly fishing will be absolutely effortless. Well, it is a pretty good endeavor, but and it is fairly effortless at times. But I don't care what it is you're doing. I don't care if you're playing golf. I don't care if you're fly fishing. I don't care if you're flying a plane, going scuba diving, parachuting. Some things are going to have a little higher degree of risk. Whatever it is you're doing, or your job, whatever your job is, hopefully it's something that you want to do, right? Because when you're doing a job to me is doing something, it's a job. Yeah, it's not something I want to do. I'm here because I want to be here. I want to do this. I really look forward to, another day. I get to do it again. It's great fun. It isn't drudgery. And I hope whatever it is you're doing day in and day out isn't drudgery. Life is short. The most valuable commodity of all is not Bitcoin. No. It's not gold. No. It's not the NASDAQ futures. No. Do you know what it is? You can't buy it. You can't sell it. You can't trade it. It's time. Time. Young people waste it. I'm guilty of that. Whatever you do, don't waste it. You don't have to do this. I'm not suggesting that you do this. I'm not suggesting, but don't waste your time. You can't replace it. The money you can replace. Anything else you can replace, but you can't. We can show you, let me do this. I love doing this. Here are, let's see, what do we want to show you? We get so much. Maybe you want to see the Pebble Beach. So let me, oh, okay. So he did take a little loss there. Took one on the nose, right? That's okay. Let me show you this. So again, we have another tool that we absolutely love. And so this is real time. I mean, you're 30 seconds delayed, but let me bring this into view. Okay, so let me try to crunch this down. You can't see it all because I got this writing here, but let me try to do this here. I'm going to crunch this thing down so you can see this here. I'm going to try. I got to make it small. Oh, I knew I would do that. Dang it. There it is. All right. I did it again. Sorry. See, we're not trying to hide anything, but we do dress up. There it is. All right. So this is, I'm squeezing this in here, but we have the whole S&P 500 in here. And these are signals today. They're right here. Now watch where I'm going to scroll down. Now watch the number. The label row takes up 1, but this is number 2, number 3. Now there's only going to be so many signals today, but watch the purse. The trade purse is up so much money. But let me scroll down. We're up to, so we've had 26, because we have a label row, 26 signals, and every single one of them is up because you see the trade purse is green. One of them is down. So out of 26, we're profitable in 25. Real time. So, you don't have to trade futures. You can trade stocks and you can trade options. That, of course, if you are here in the States and you're trading stocks, they got something called a pattern day trader. Ooh, that's a bad thing. Ooh, it isn't a bad thing, right? But they make it sound like a bad thing. If you trade stocks more than 5 times in a week, they will classify your account as a patterned day trader. And at that point, the government comes in and forces the brokerages to limit your trading, or you can't do it. You got to have a minimum of $25,000. And that probably is probably a good thing, actually. But um, and then there's something called the wash sale rule, and there's some unfriendly tax treatment, and there's a lot of stuff that because they just don't want you doing it. But you can trade options, and none of that shit applies. And you can trade futures, and none of that shit applies either. And you get some really nice, favorable tax because that's where they play, right? They just want you to send your money to them. You know? So the Borkers and the brokers, they can take their ski trips and, go to the mall, they answer the phone, how are we doing today? Oh, geez, we're gonna buy Rockwell, or, just a bunch of storytellers. You know that. You know that. Do I have contempt for them? I drip with contempt for them. I'm not from that industry, thank God. And if you are from that industry, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I would have, God, not from it. No, not at all. So we trade and track money flow. Okay. Well, how hard can that be? Well, you can track it all day long, and you can stare at a screen all day long. And you can watch your stochastics, and when that crosses this, and the MACD this, and the CCI this, and the RSI that, and when that one does this and that one does that, then you do this and you do that. But it does you no good if you can't extract cash flow. You've got to extract cash flow. It does you no good to have a Subway store, a dry cleaning business, any kind of business if you can't extract cash flow. You've got to make money. Now, it may vary from day to day. So what is the marker? How do you know what you're making? Well, I can see that, you're up 1603. Yeah, we can do that. But what we want to track is profit factor, the gross profit for the session that we're trading divided by the gross loss. And then that gives us something called profit factor. And as long as we can stay above 3, or, when we're trading a machine, we draw a distinction. If the machine trades and it's only 1.2, 1.3, yes, it's narrow. But if the machine is doing it, who cares, right? If we're making the decisions to do it, then we want to see the profit factor up over 3, ideally. But and this profit factor is running today around 2, 2 to 3 right now. And the machine's doing it all, come totally on its own. I've been patting Ted, taking him out for walks. Now, this is Swing Machine up here, right? So you're like, well, what is that? Well, do we have members that have traded that today? Absolutely. Absolutely, we have. If we had traded it, yep, we'd be up with a mini, we'd be up $4,000. If we put on 10 of them, we'd be up 44,000. And if we traded it with a micro, we'd be up $434. Good place to learn. We didn't always have micros. Micros are a creation in just the last 3 to 4 or 5 years. Didn't always have them. But we're trading something else. This writing here, downtrend, And RIP, that is being put on here by the computer. These are programs that we have written. This is our program that we have written, operating on the TradeStation platform, in particular, their proprietary tool called Radar Screen. TradeStation, I don't know if TradeStation knows how good they are. I love them. I love them. Barely talk with them. We're not affiliated with them, but boy, they have a great, great product. They have a great platform. They have great tutorials, great support, great structure, just really, really good. I come from a surgical environment. I like to say that, TradeStation's platform is a surgical tool. A lot of brokerages out there, they may have some good platform stuff, but you can't even empower the machine to do any of the trading. They won't let you. TradeStation really does treat you as an adult. So they're really, really good. Can't say enough good things about them. If you're listening to us in another part of the world, one of the first things that you're going to need to do or want to do is find out, hello, AP. AP, hello. You're going to want to find out, is TradeStation available? They're a multi-billion-dollar company. They're owned by Mitsubishi Bank in Japan. TradeStation is based in Plantation, Florida. I've been down there taking some of their classes in years gone by, and they're just really good. I don't know why. I think I do know why. I don't think it's their doing, but certain countries, there are certain restrictions, and some places they're available fully, and you have everything that we have. And in other places, you have to get it through, what they call an API or something through Interactive. Interactive Brokers is also a good company. I've never used them, but I understand they're pretty good. And but you would want to find out. We're not here. I want to make sure as you're watching this, I'm not a broker. I'm not. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not. We don't make specific recommendations for you to do anything with your money. And I don't solicit funds to manage. Yeah. Well, that's okay. I'll answer the question. It's just me, so I see the questions come across. So I will happy to address it. So I just want everyone to know that. I won't bore you with my background, but I taught surgeons how to do surgery with some of the most advanced instruments of the day. And for a whole bunch of years. It was great. I loved it. I really enjoyed it. And Susan worked for IBM and for Lotus Software and for a company called CBT Systems. We started this endeavor, not Stock Market Caddy, but this endeavor of trading our own capital in the early 2000s. A lot of trial and error. Stock Market Caddy came out of the ground in about 2012, 2013, quite frankly, just because I was bored. I was bored. The way we trade here, it's boring. I mean, what do I do here? I mean, the machine's got it, right? I'm Pat and Ted. It's pretty boring. So I like people. I want to interact, right? I don't want to become a total hermit. And so AP is asking us, love the commentary. Well, thank you. Thank you. And it gives me a chance to, and we're not trading the things around the world and doing all that, but we're connected and that's one of the good things or bad things. You can't help but be connected to the world and what's going on when you do this sort of thing. But you don't make decisions on any of that crap. But if you're interested in that, it's kind of a nice thing. I don't have a boss. I don't have to travel. I don't have a lot of paperwork. And, we have a beautiful life. Does the membership include access to the robot? Please answer at your leisure and don't want to. Well, that's very respectful and very nice. But that's why we're here, to answer the questions. Well, we invite you to certainly visit the website. I'm going to answer the question though. Website is homegrown, so feel free. And if you still have questions from there, you always can call. I'm a real person. You can call 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. weekends, 813-758-8263. We would just ask you, hopefully, that you've explored the website because a lot of your questions will probably be answered there. We have about 70 proprietary trading tools, and many of these are what we call trading robots. Before I go there, though, I want to make sure that I explain what we mean by a robot. Notice we say robot assisted trading, not robot trading. If I leave out the word assisted, you may think that this robot can just be plugged in like a vacuum cleaner, iRobot. You plug it in and it runs around and cleans up all the dog hair without having to do anything. Our robots will run like that. This has been running since midnight. They will run like that at times, but we use the word robot assisted, and I borrowed that phrase from a company that I was familiar with called Intuitive Surgical, symbol ISRG, Intuitive Surgical. They have a surgical robot. You may see them advertised in your community, surgery robot, right? What is that? Well, I've had the opportunity to sit in that robot, not to do surgery, but to pick up little blocks and stuff. And because, see, I'm not a surgeon. You need to be a surgeon to operate that surgical robot. And it's a really, really cool device, multi-million-dollar device, and it's got all kinds of really cool things. Our trading robots are also very cool, and they can do a whole lot of things. But you need to have good acquired trading skill. Maybe like, a cruise control on an airplane. You may have the capital. You may have more capital than me. You may have the capital to go out and buy yourself a Gulfstream jet. And because that Gulfstream jet has cruise control, it doesn't mean that I'm going to get in the seat beside you or fly in the back if you don't have any acquired trading skill or flying time, right? You got to have some flying time. So that's where we draw it. So the membership is this. We have a monthly membership. It's $100 a month. It gets you a video view of all of our algos every night. And that's it. Doesn't get you the Zoom feed, gets you some education, and you get a glimpse of what it is we're doing and what the algos are showing. If your goal is to just stay on the right side of the market for a 401k, an IRA, make a few trades a month, that sort of thing, it's a beautiful way to go, because you'll have more trading opportunities every night than you have money for. However, if you want to be trading intraday, or becoming much more active swing trader, you want to be trading either full-time now or in the very near future, we have something called an annual membership. And the annual membership, to answer AP's question, they get everything that we have. So yes, you would get Swing Machine. You would get the trading robot we have here. You get it all. You get everything. Not one thing, everything. You still need to be a monthly member because you still get the video at night. And as we're developing new things during the year, you get those. And if you want us to tailor some things, we will do that. There's no other cost. But before one can become an annual member, there is a step, an interim step. And that step is what we call Q School. And we won't let anyone join as an annual member unless they go through the 3-week Q School, just one time. But there's about 30, 40 hours of on-demand video instruction. And we have a dedicated Zoom feed. We're going to control your view. And we want to spend ideally 1 hour with you every day if we can. That's what we'll try to work around your schedule. We'd have to talk about that, because the question AP has, and everyone that might be passing through, is the same question that I would have. And that is this stuff for real? Is this really going to help me? Is this going to work for me? Now, I think so. I hope so. We have, many people that have, but the truth of the matter is, I don't know. Don't really know what you're going to do, nor do you. At the end of the 3 weeks, I know that you will have worked really hard. I know that I will have worked really hard. I know you will have learned a ton. I know that you'll be in a much better place than you were before. I know that you could probably take this information, a lot of it, and go off and be a very, very good trader. Um, but at the end of the 3 weeks, though, you'll know about us too, and you'll have a chance to have worked with some of these tools. And then it's at that point, if you want to become an annual member, we'll credit you back 30% of what you spend on the Q School. We'll credit you back 30% of that as an inducement to keep moving forward. And then we start sending you everything. So where does TradeStation come into play? As a monthly member, you don't have to have TradeStation. As a Q School student, you don't have to have TradeStation, but if you do, you got to get more out of it. And truthfully, you probably should, at least a trial account, because you just get more out of it, and we can help you learn TradeStation very, very quickly. We can save you a tremendous amount of time. But to be an annual member, you have to have TradeStation. And ideally, you want the platform that we have here in the States. So if you're in another part of the world and country, you need to find out, just what you have. And you want to have the same thing that we have in the States. And hopefully you do. At that point, then we send you the files. They're encrypted. And you have them for a year. The renewal for the next year is less than the first year, and we give you 1 month free for your first year and 1 month free going forward up to 6 years. So the prospect is there. The more successful you get, and hopefully you've turned a corner, you can actually reduce the effective cost of our membership in half. It works because you're going to become more and more independent, more and more, and it's just kind of a neat way to go. So it's actually deflationary. Not many businesses are going to do that. And Stock Market Caddy is a business in and of itself, but we're traders. We're trading. Susie's done her trading for the day. She's done. She's got her style thing, and I'm here chatting with you. But that's kind of what we do. We kind of spell that out. What we're trying to do, if you think about the membership the way it is, we slow it down. We've had all kinds of people say, well, you should do this. And by the way, too, when you become an annual member, you can then migrate from the Q School Zoom to, we've been using Zoom before Zoom was Zoom, and you can patch in to our Zoom. Once the markets open on Sunday night, our Zoom comes up and it's there until Friday. And, I'm not here for every minute of every day, but I'm here every day. So it's not like we disappear. But the intensive education, trading education, can't continue beyond Q School because we have just other people. But your education will continue, and we have video libraries of all of our tools, indicators. And so, like, even looking here, this is point and figure. This is a tool. This is a tool. These dots here are tools. We got other tools. Whether you're trading Renko or trading range bars or time bars, swing machinists, we got all kinds of radars. Let me just show you. I love showing the baby. So this is, can I bring this in? Let me see. So this is another radar. See it right here? This blue one. We color it blue when it's trading stocks. And let me see. The trade person, these are not valid trades, so don't become alarmed there. See, these are old. This is meant to give you trades today, the day of. And so what I was trying to do is sort. This thing will automatically sort, but I was showing this earlier. Stay with me. I can't blow it up or I'll lose my place here, but So the labor row takes up 1. So how many signals have there been here today out of the S&P 500? So scroll down with me. There's buys and sells, right? There are some buys in here. And let's scroll down. Okay, so there have been 23. You take out the labor row, and we're profitable in all 23. Now that's the money is calculating using $23,000. I'm sorry, not 23,000 with that number, 10,000. This one's off. But you could also be using options, right? So that's one of our tools, or another one. This one is if you're an options trader, this is beautiful tool. Let me go show you this. Let me go get it. And if you are trading options, then you're aware that there's a whole lot of things that go into trading options. So this is crazy good. Let me see if I can blow this up here. Okay. All right. So I got some writing in here. Don't be distracted with that. But this tool here is let me see if I show you the title of it. It's called SMC Options Club Selector. And it's also scanning the S&P 500 over here. And it's telling us what type of trades folks should have been looking at last night over here. What stocks? What would you want to buy, put, debit spread, credit spreads. This is all on the dark side. And then over here, maybe you wanted to sell a put, credit spread, buy a call on Google, and these are all defined, or iron condors. These are all defined risk. So it's a little bit sloppy here because I get this stressed up with Zoom, but options are all math. So if you're trading options and the first place you're going to is a chart, you're probably going to struggle. They're all math. So that radar is calculating the math behind the options. That should, in our view, should be the first place you go. And then get your opportunities from there, get the structure right, and then where you place it and how far down on the delta you want to go, yeah, you can use a chart from there. And your trading is going to get a whole lot better really, really fast. Got all kinds of things. This is a radar that we use. We call this the brick size calculator. I'm going to squeeze it in here. And this tells us SMC brick, box, or range bar dynamic calculator. If you're using range bars or you're using Renko or you're using point and figure, you don't know what size bricks to use. This machine will calculate depending if you want to be trading intraday, daily, or an investor. And it'll tell you what size bricks. And see, that's critically important. And as you drop down to other markets like gold or even stocks for that matter, I mean, what size bricks should you be using? If you're going to trade Iron Mountain intraday, it should be about 10 cents a brick. So again, as an example, I can't even show you them all. You're not going to be able to use them all in a year because there's just too many, but we don't throw anything away. But you'll never be lost for opportunity. And that's what our machinery is trying to present is machinery so that you can get to where you want to go. Now, I'll just say this. The market, there is no Bible code to the market. We'll keep looking, for that, the Holy Grail, but we really don't believe that there is. The market, you cannot triangulate. It's going to be in a different place virtually every single day. It would be if we equate it to golf, and we do this because golf is a great sport. The likelihood that the golf ball is going to land in exactly the same place on exactly the same hole from one day to the next, and the conditions be the same, is not very likely, right? Billions of combinations. Yet people, try to do exactly the same thing manually, visually, and drive themselves insane, literally drive themselves insane, or drive themselves to drink or something else, and get really, really frustrated. So you notice I'm chatting with you, and I haven't pointed out, anything on the screen really. We do that, during the Q school, but the machine is doing its work. It's doing all the heavy lifting. That said, so the market, if you think about this, it isn't like the constellation of the stars. It isn't, they're not fixed points from day to day. So what is the market, and how might you think about this? Um, I'm not a sailor, but I've read about it. So we use this analogy is, um, folks, when they were sailing the wooden ships, used something called a sextant, right? I read about it. And they would plot where they are, they would plot the horizon, and they would plot against the sky, the night sky, and they would triangulate to get from one place to another. But I just got through saying is that the market is not the night sky. You can't really triangulate. You can't. So what is it? If it's not the night sky, it's more like, for us, the surface of the ocean. So what are we doing? I like to watch that show. Haven't seen it lately, but Deadliest Catch, right? How hard can that be? Well, get yourself $1 million, couple $1 million crab boat, hire a crew, go out into the Bering Sea, and get yourself a load of crab, and you're a multimillionaire. How hard can that be? Well, it looks pretty easy, doesn't it? I'm being facetious, but you know, um, but to be the captain, I mean, he just sits in the seat, drives the boat around. How hard can that be? I think he has some skill, right? The waves are going this way, the waves are going that way. He's got to drop the crab pots. He's got to come back around. He's got to pick them up. Some days it's real calm, some days it's real rough. He obviously has acquired skill, right? I'm being facetious. For us, the market is the surface of the ocean. Today is a little bit more volatile than yesterday. You know, um, that's what makes it interesting. But you have to have some acquired skill to navigate and to captain the boat. And if you think you're going to open up a brokerage account, put all your IRA money in there, get the TV in the office, get a subscription to the IBD, the Wall Street Journal, God forbid, the New York Times, start listening to, Kramer and the Mad Money boys and girls and the this and that, and start buying and selling and selling and buying because and make money. Good luck with that. Let me know how that works out. My office, no TV. I don't subscribe, certainly don't subscribe to the New York Times, but I don't subscribe to the IBD any longer, or the Wall Street Journal. Um, my office pretty quiet. Got a little treadmill. Try to get up. Biggest thing is just get some exercise. Whoops, we got another dog in here. Hey, Abby. Hey, sweetie. We got oh my God. Can you hear its tail? Don't hurt your tail there, girl. Oh, Jesus. We've had a golden for 4 years. His name is Ted. Oh, Jesus, Abby. That's a whippy tail you got there, girl. And so we got a new golden, and she's if she keeps growing, she's going to turn into a horse. We got her. She was only 8 pounds. She's now 6 months old, and she's 45 pounds. Hey, Abby, get on out of here, sweetie. She is the friendliest little pup. Hey, girl, hold on. We got to get her out of here. Okay, sorry about that. Um, every day is Christmas for her. we we just keep recirculating the toys. We had one room where the Christmas tree was. We still don't have the Christmas tree up, but we just keep recirculating the toys. So the pup every day is like, she thinks it's Christmas. Beautiful, beautiful pup, golden retrievers, love labs, beautiful, beautiful dogs. So I was just making a comparison though to, you can think about the market any way you want. I'm not telling anybody what to think, how to think. I'm not. I'm not trying to change your view of the world. I'm not doing any of that. But I can tell you for us, we've been doing this a long time. Um, it's got nothing to do with the economy. What? The market has nothing to do with the economy? No, not really. No, no. Um, it's got nothing to do with the politics. I was a poli sci major. What a waste of time. Jesus, Fortunately, I didn't, run up a bill of 250,000 for that degree. Um, and I spent a lifetime in with surgeons. Go figure. And I never had a biology class. I didn't have any science. Companies taught me. Um, but it doesn't. The market, it's just price action. One of the most important things for us is liquidity. Liquidity. It's also should be very important to you for anything that you intend on selling. What do we mean by liquidity? It isn't volume. People sometimes think, oh, that's a volume. No. Liquidity is the difference between the bid and the ask. And it's one of the reasons why we trade futures during the course of the day or evening, because the liquidity is wonderful. It's highly liquid. When you have an illiquid market, you may not have a market at all. And when markets are going up and up and up, and they melt up, they melt up, they melt up because everybody keeps adding the money. And then when the markets go down, the liquidity kind of dries up, but not in the futures market. That's what enables us to do what we want to do. But if you're keeping score, um, on the money, you're scoring your performance on the money. You may not realize it, but you're trading greed and fear. And if you are trading greed and fear, Wall Street knows, and Madison Avenue know it's only a matter of time and they will get you. I don't care. I don't care what you own. I don't care how much you own. I don't care how long you've been doing it. They will get you. They will get you. And for us, we talk about, being able to keep score. I'll just share this with you. If you're a golfer, maybe not, maybe you go to a party, you get a friend. I always think about, I go to the golf course and there'll be that guy that'll show up and maybe I'll write this out, and he'll tell you that he's got a boutique broker, right? I got this boutique broker, Don, and you know something, he's getting me 15% per annum per year, 15%. And you know what? You play your cards right with me. I might see if I can get an appointment with this boutique broker. By the way, I'm not saying, maybe I shouldn't write it on here. I don't want anybody thinking. Percentage a year is not meaningful. I'm going to erase that because I don't want anybody coming in and saying that I'm making that claim. I'm not. It's not relevant, because if someone says that to you, what are you going to think? You're going to think the same thing that I'm going to think. And it's good. You should be, you should have some um, skepticism. And the skepticism is this, 15% or 10% on what? On $10,000? On $100,000? Okay, made me 10% a year. Is it compounded? But it doesn't it doesn't say anything. I mean, if you're Warren Buffett and you got billions, sure, 10% a year in and year out, great. But somebody tells you, it's a percentage a year, you don't know what it's on. So that doesn't really tell me anything. And it really doesn't tell Susan anything from one year to the next. Are we advancing or are we not? The other thing is there's a hockey captain out there from Yale, and he's got all kinds of services, charges for this, charges for that, charges for this. He's got a bunch of unemployed stockbrokers from God knows where, and they love to, comment about the retail and the building sector and Lowe's and quad one, quad two, and all this bullshit. And they got some service and they say, like, it's 90% of the time. It wins 90% of the time. Well, man, I mean, that's obvious, that, right? I mean, if you're winning 90% of the time, you're definitely making money, right? And once again, I'm being facetious, right? My dad was a police captain, and I learned that word pretty young. I probably was 6 years old. Facetious. What are you doing? I'm pulling your leg. As he said, Don, I'm pulling your leg, kid. That's how we learn, right? But why isn't you can have 9 trades in a row where you make $1,000, make 9 grand, you'll feel bulletproof. And on the 10th trade, you lose 20 grand. They call that eating like a bird, shitting like an elephant. And retail traders do it over and over and over again. And I think there's a psychology about that, which I'm happy to chat about, but I've thought about it a lot. Why do people do that? And it's not what you think, but so percentage return isn't helpful. Winning percentage isn't helpful. It feels good. It does feel good. I get that. I mean, it does. I mean, we still record it, right? We still do. We record all that. Don, you got percentage return here. Now, we don't use this. We just added this in here for our stock reviews. We don't change this we've had this for years. We make very, very small, minute changes. And we did build in this column here, not for intraday trading, but for our stocks. By request, but we thought it was a good addition. But how do you keep score, smarty pants? We keep score by something called profit factor. And the way the profit factor works, and I think this is, for those that are coming by, is going to be the most valuable thing that I can share with you. And that is this. If you make gross profit 10,000 in a week, that's your gross profit, and you lose gross loss of 5K, that equals 5K, right? You had a gross profit of 10, you had a gross loss of 5, and you netted 5K. The next week, you make 1K, and you lose $200, and you net 800. The dollar sign in there. That's your second week. Which week did you trade better and why? Now, all the people that you're following, all the people you're listening to, all the hodlers, and you only live once, they don't even think about it, but they are grading themselves, and they are advertising at the golf course, at the party, online. I made $5,000 last week. Boy, this week I only made 800. And they're telling everybody about that, and they're also competing with themselves on that, and they are grading themselves on the money. The truth of the matter is, this was a much better trading week. Because what you do, I don't want red, put in green. If you divide 1,000 by 200 versus over here, or if you divide 10,000 by 5, you get here a profit factor of 2. We'll just make that yellow. Sorry. We'll make that yellow. Is 2. A profit factor of 2. And let's just drag it over here. That means that, yes, you made 5K, but you made $2 for every dollar you expended. This would be inclusive of commissions. That's not bad. But this week, you only made 800, but what's your profit factor? 1,000 divided by 200 is a profit factor of 5. You made $5 for every dollar you expended. You made less money, but you traded much, much better. 2.5 times better this week. But nobody tracks that. And the hockey captain blocked me because I asked him. Said, don't tell me. And plus, they wanted people to subscribe to take their alerts, and they're advertising their alerts. I don't do that deliberately. And people say, well, you should create an alert off of Swing Machine and sell the alerts. I don't do that. I'm not a broker. I'm not, and it's more than just from a liability. There certainly would be the liability, but it's also would be against the law in our view. But you can do something much more valuable. If we give you the tools and we give you the instruction, and by the way, you would have got an alert. This is 2, meaning 2 minutes. You can set your own alerts. Build your own. Don't follow mine. Don't follow the hockey captain's. God knows what his alerts are built on, and I'm using him facetiously. Probably a very nice guy. Looks like he's a nice guy. I think he's a little obnoxious, but you can build your own. So we're all about empowering you to do what? But to play your own game. Why not? Right? I go out on the golf course. I want to play my game. I go into the river fly fishing. Yeah, I want to know what my buddy's, using maybe to catch, but I want to play, I want to fish myself. Don't you want to play your game? So to answer AP's questions, all of these tools are available to you. The cheapest way, the quickest way is a monthly membership and a video at night. If you want to push further and have an annual and you want them on your desktop and you want to build your own alerts and you want to put in your own things, then, that's the way, you want to go. By the way, this is a 4-minute signal, right? 4-minute, you're up $200. Now, what is, if you make decisions based on flipping a coin, what is your profit factor going to be? 0.9 to 1.1. If your decision to buy or sell anything is flipping a coin at any time during the day, and you match it with a profit target, a stop loss that is equal, you will be at 0.9 to 1.1. Anything under 1, you're losing money. Anything over 1, you're making money, but it's very narrow. In our view, if you have a profit factor of 1 to 2, you are working really hard. You are putting shingles on a roof in Tampa Bay in the middle of the summer. It's a grind. Now, there's a little asterisk there that I'm going to explain in a moment. If you have a profit factor of 2 to 3, we think that's average. average. If you have a profit factor over 3, you become a money-making machine. And it's going to vary. But if you have a profit factor under 1, you are a losing money-making machine. And if you've never heard of profit factor and you don't know what your profit factor is, I'm sorry, but you're lost in the woods. You just are. You're not trading as a business, and you're not approaching this as a business. And by the way, we don't accept everyone. Trust me, we don't. If I'm going to spend 3 weeks of my life with you, we're going to need to have a short conversation. I'm not going to, it's not an interview per se, but if I don't think that it could be any number of things, but you don't have whatever, I don't want to waste your time, and I certainly don't want to waste mine. I really, really want people, I can't know for sure they're going to do well, but I want them to do well, right? I want to feel good about, as I said to Susie, what we're doing and hopefully imparting to people. That's why we're never going to be, hundreds of thousands or anything. I couldn't do that. And, but I hope that makes sense. But if you don't know what your profit factor was for last week, last month, last year, then you're just winging it. You're just winging it. And, and you won't know what to change. You won't know what to, to make adjustments for. Does that make sense? And so it's up to you, I mean, the admission, the bar for admission to, get into the trading game is extremely low. I mean, it's anybody who's got money and can fog a mirror is in. I mean, the brokerages will take you, and they'll take your money too. Now, where we have posted, I'm not going to pull them up now. We got YouTube videos. Our members, during Q school and after Q school, and it's usually the way we like to talk to each other, because I don't want to feel bad, because some of them have a lot more money than me and they trade in much larger size. So I don't want to hear about how much money they made. I would rather them just tell me what the profit factor is. So we tell we have a gentleman, Parker. I'll mention Parker. 2 or 3 weeks ago, told me he had a profit factor, I think, of 28. 28 for the week. I mean, he made $28 for every dollar he expended. That's beautiful. Then the last time I heard from Parker, I think was last week, maybe the week before, he had a profit factor, 15. Yeah. Okay, but he made $15 for every dollar he expended. It's pretty good. IL, IL is at 3, 4, 5, week in, week out. Consistent as hell. Beautiful. David in Germany had a profit factor in 1 week. It's not the highest, but he had one of 80. So now, understanding profit factor, if he lost $100, he made 8,000. If he lost 1,000, he made 80. And he was as high as a kite. So I think it was the latter. He was, if anything, I said, Don, I think I'm going to take a couple of months off. I think you should. I think you should do that. By the way, this signal here was 9 minutes ago. This was 9 minutes. You'd be up $480. But if you're making all your decisions, and I don't have the time here today to teach you how to trade Swing Machine, but if you're trading it just on the money, then we're not going to have done our job. And look, the machine just took another short here. I didn't do it. I empowered the machine to do it. I don't know if it's going to win or lose, but so what is the profit factor? We've been running this program since midnight. So let's complete the loop and let's get the profit factor for today, what you're seeing. So let me do this. Generate. we're running a profit factor of 2.11. So we're making $2.11. Now, in the winning percentage, I'll tell you what it is. It's 55%, but that isn't that important to me. Now, we could make a decision to turn off. You can turn off, and the machine just took a small loss, right? So our profit factor's gone down. Now, I meant to address this. If I am trading mechanically, I am making a decision to enter off of what Swing Machine is doing or something else. I actually got the mouse and I'm buying and selling and buying. I'm doing that mechanically. I don't want to do that more than 5 times in a day. That's plenty. So that's one thing. I don't want to do it more than 5 times when I'm trading intraday. The other thing is that I really want to see on a given day, I want to ideally have a profit factor of 3 or higher. And I may choose to stop with 2 trades. I may stop at 4 trades. I may do 6, but usually I don't. But I want to have a profit factor of over 3 because I do want to feel good about what I'm doing. When we're running a machine, a trading robot, I really don't care about the profit factor that much on an intraday. Okay. I want it to be above 1, but let me explain why. If the machine trades 20 times in a day, I don't care because it's the machine doing it. It's not me. I'm not getting worn out. And if the machine has a profit factor of 1.5, if I traded 20 times in a day and I had a profit factor of 1.5, I'd be exhausted. It would be exhausting. It'd be a bit of a grind. But if the machine trades 20 times in a day and has a profit factor of 1.5, you know what? I'm fine. It will have made money, maybe narrow. Money may be whatever it is. But you know what? I took Ted out for a pee and a poop and Abby, and I could go for a walk with Susan, and I could, you know, sit in the other room or do whatever, be on the treadmill. I'm not leaving my office necessarily though to go play golf. However, we do have some members that are in a, that are have demands on their time for other jobs, and they are pushing the envelope in ways that I thought not possible. So, and you know what? And doing very well in terms of maximizing their time, in terms of having signals go to their phones and managing, you know, their time, doing a lot of other things. I'm pretty fortunate right now. I don't, Susie and I have a beautiful, beautiful life, and the other life was good too. I just had to do more traveling and had, other people I had to report to. I don't have anybody to report to. I get to talk with y'all. So I kind of rambled on here. We came on at about 10. The machine is still profitable. By the way, there are 24 trading days in a month if you trade on Sunday nights. We almost never trade on Fridays. If you extract $100 a day, it's $2,400 a month. 200? But let's take it down to 20. $100 a day is 2,000. 200 is 4,000. 500 is 10,000. Do you have the discipline and the patience to stop? Are you going to over leverage, an account? Are you going to try to do too much? You're going to try to make it all in one day? I don't think that'd be a good idea. It doesn't take long. You put together 10, 15, 20 days where we could turn this off right now. I'm not going to, but we could. By the way, I should probably clear off that writing. So let me do that. Clear that stuff off. I can do that. There we go. You put together, they say, 10, 20 days, and pick it yourself up 20, 25,000. Maybe not do that the first 20 days, but and you just start doing it, and you become empowered. And it really doesn't matter, how high the market goes or how low the market goes. What only matters is that the market opens, that they don't close it. And with the Marxists these days, I think anything's possible. We're not going to go down that road. But in any case, don't have to. I hope you've enjoyed it. We're in the last 10 minutes. We're going to have to turn off. And if you've got any questions, if you want me to plug in, if maybe you've put on a trade, if you want me to plug in a market, doesn't have to be a futures market. Maybe it's AMD, maybe it's Tesla. If you have a stock, you want me to plug it in right here, right now, I'll plug it in and you tell me the interval, could be a daily, and I'll change the interval and we'll see how Swing Machine would be positioned on it. So if you want to do that, I love to, show the baby. We work very, very hard. By the way, we can do other things here while we're waiting on that. We can come here and see, we can edit this, edit the study, and we can, no, I'm sorry. What did I do? I did that wrong. Oh, I did. Yeah, that was fine. So we can hide columns, not to hide them, but we can, so for instance, I'm hiding right now the long trades and the short trades. You can see the columns show up. And I don't know why it doesn't stay open, but let me go here. Excuse me. So this is set. Let me lose that. This is set at 4 a.m. So since 4 a.m., there have been 5 long trades and 5 short trades. Since 4 a.m., there's only been 1 long and 1 short. So this counts the number of trades. And we don't bother to count them day in and day out, but it can count them. Pretty crazy. We can also, I did want to show you. So let me change that. So we're going to hide that just to save room. So I'll uncheck it and it'll go away. And then what I wanted to show you is, the purse. Now the purse here is calculating a mini, but if we wanted to change this to stocks under inputs, we have it set as true for futures. If I change that to false and I set this as true, then it'll start calculating on stocks, and we can put it in as 100,000 or $10,000, or we could put it in as share count. So I'll just put that. I don't know what 100,000 would trade at $10,000 block. There we go. 1, 2, 3. As an example. I'm going to leave it at futures though, because we're trading futures. So you can use Swing Machine, for stocks. And if you can use it for stocks and you're familiar with options, then you can use it with options and do great. And, maybe you want to have, the top 20 stocks and you want to be trading on an hourly basis. Okay. And maybe you want to be using 0 DTEs or short dated options. It's not something I do a lot of, but you could certainly experiment. And we certainly have folks that do that. So as an example, now if I don't change this, it's just going to give us the share price. So let's put in, let's put Tesla in here. Let me see. Tesla. So this is on a 1-minute basis. Now we're not going to trade Tesla on a 1 minute, but maybe we wanted to trade Tesla on a daily. So Tesla went short 39, because signals comes from here. Signal age in bars was 39 days ago. If you had shorted Tesla at 234 was the entry price, a short at 4 p.m. on January 9th, and the trend is shitty. It's trending down, but you're short. You want that. You're up $56 per share, right? Now we could put it in on a dollar amount, but or you're up 20, almost 24%. Now, if you're an aggressive trader and you know how to use options, you probably, would have made even more. But if you were an investor in Tesla and you only want to play on the long side, you're a long only investor, I'm okay with that. But at least you would have known to get out of Tesla and save your account 24%. What are you going to do? You're going to talk to that boutique broker down the street who's, some nose picker? I mean, I'm sorry. Those guys, I mean, God, I mean, I'm not going to talk to some broker. He doesn't know anything. But we're going to go here. Now, what if you wanted to trade Tesla on an hour? So I could come here. 9 hours ago, Tesla went short at 190. That was yesterday at 11 o'clock, and you're up $11. What would you have done if you got a put option on Tesla yesterday at 11:30 that expires for Friday? You'd be up a lot more than 6%. Maybe you only want to buy Tesla, then wait for the signal on the hour to go long. And when it does, I don't know when it's going to do that. Could be a few days, could be a few weeks. And when it does, have the signal, you set it up, and you have the alert sent to you. You're running your own service. And you're trading what you're trading as an example. Makes sense? Very, very powerful. I don't see anyone doing what we're doing. I'm online. I see all the same shit that you see. I don't see anyone doing what we're doing. I got to put this back to, oh, dang it. I gotta guess because I can't see. So this is 5, 3, 4. I think it's probably about here. That's a 2 minute. Dang it. All right. I can't see because of the writing by Zoom. There's the 1 minute. All right. So I'm going to put it back to NQH24. But I'm happy if anyone wants to give us a stock, I'm happy to put it in. Up to you. There's a lot to consider. I think that you should. We have had the gentleman I mentioned in Germany, David. Is David here? I gotta look. He isn't, but I would say anyways, maybe he's listening in Germany. David was a monthly member, and he was a monthly member for like a couple of months. This goes back years ago. And I reached out to him and said, "Hey, David, do you have any interest being in?" No, I don't. I'm like, okay, no problem. And I just totally, left the gentleman alone, and he was a monthly member, and it was like 3 or 4 years later, and I get a phone call from Germany, and it's like, Don, this is David. David who? I'm like, I joined like 3, oh, 3. I'm ready, Don. For what? To be an annual member. I'm like, oh, okay. That was great. It was like 3 or 4 years later. He's like, I'm ready. He's done great. No, it's like 6, 7 years ago. Crazy. He's the gentleman who had, profit factor over 80, just doing his thing. We've had other Logan from Utah. He made a good amount of money trading futures, trading point and figure, by the way. He loved point and figure, as luck would have it, or as we'd have it today that we're looking at point and figure. And he called me up one day and said, "Hey, Don, I'm really liking what I'm doing, and I'm thinking of doing something different." I'm like, "Okay." He goes, and this was his question, not if he should invest in Ethereum, but can I use what I've been doing to buy and sell Ethereum? I'm like, and this is back years ago. I'm like, yeah. What are you thinking of doing? Well, I'm thinking of using point and figure to buy and sell Ethereum, primarily buy. Like, okay, all right. So again, he didn't ask me. Thank God, because I don't know what I would have said. Although I would have never tell anybody not to do something. I just try to point out. And the only thing I said to him was which I would say today was, I said, be careful where you put the money on the exchange. Who's going to be the custodian? Because I'm not sure I trust new markets like that. So I don't know. But long story short, Logan bought 1,000 shares of 1,000 Ethereum coins for $20. He made, I think he turned $5,000 futures trading into 20,000. Then he went and he bought 1,000 coins of Ethereum using point and figure. And he's done. Whereas Ethereum today is like at 3 or 4,000. And he said to me, one of the um, times we had a chance to talk, he said, Don, and I'll leave you with this. He says, do you remember when I first started how nervous I was and so concerned I was over $200 or $300 on a given trade? I said, I do. He goes, Don, in the past year, I have bought and sold doing what I do with Ethereum, and I have had a few trades where it's been over six figures, and I don't even bat an eyelash. I'm like, yep. You do not want to be a pilot. Well, let me put it this way. You do not want to be in an airplane landing in San Francisco at night in the fog and your pilot be nervous about what he's doing. I hope not. I hope he's done it a few times, right? Be a scary thought. So with that, folks, it's noon. I don't see any other requests. I've got to get, focused, and we're doing other things. And I hope we've stimulated some ideas. That's the first step in learning anything. Is like, maybe you've heard some things that you've heard before. Maybe you've heard some things that you haven't. Go to the site, look it out, think it through. If you're going to be a monthly member, you sign up today, sign up tomorrow, everything starts and no big deal. You get a password. We actually have another site just for members, smcproshop.com. You get a password and it opens everything up. So we have a dedicated site just for members. If you are thinking about the annual, we should talk, right? Because we have to schedule the Q schools in advance. And we got to make sure, we want to make sure that you want to have a conversation. You're going to have some questions, and when do we start? And answer it. I want to make sure that it's a good fit for you and for us. And you don't have to do any programming. You don't have to, but we have a lot of software engineers though. So if you like that sort of thing and you're technical that way and you like computers and stuff, you probably be right up your alley. So if there's no other questions, we're gonna part ways here. And I just want to say thank you. And we'll clean this off here too, by the way. Swing Machine is just doing its thing. And but you want to get and we can help you, right? There are steps. We've been through this before. We've been through this with a lot of different folks. There are steps that you have to go through, and we will tell you what those steps are so that you can learn to be, and it's learned, it's acquired, right? I mean, you just don't come out of high school and start flying a 777, right? I don't think that happens that way, right? You start out, small and have to, gain your flying experience, if we're using that as an analogy, right? If you're learning to scuba dive, I suppose, right? There are those people, we would go to the Caribbean and see, them teaching folks how to dive in the hotel pool and then taking them out on a boat and go diving. We saw them. Susie and I were in our 20s, and Susan's like, you want to do that, Donna? Hell no, no. I said, Susan, if you want to learn how to dive, if it's something you want to do, let's go out, go snorkeling, and see if we like it, see if we like putting the face in the water. And then when we get back to Tampa, we'll research it and we'll get certified. Let's do it the right way. I don't want to get killed here. And so we did. Turned out to be something that Susan loved, that it's something I didn't particularly care for. That's another story, which is fine, right? It's fine. We have zero tolerance in trading for negative outliers. Zero. I cannot promise you that you will not lose a trade. You will have losing trades. But if you exercise the discipline and stay disciplined, you should be able to take the negative outlier off the table. We don't want you to crash the plane. We don't want you to drown. And so we're going to go slow, and we're going to go methodical, and we're going to answer your questions as you go, one-on-one, and you're going to get yourself there, right? We will get you, the 4 stages of learning. We can get you to the 3rd stage. What is the 4th stage? That 4th stage. That 4th stage of learning is when you're doing something like brushing your teeth and you're not even thinking about it. I've been talking with you all for the last 2 hours, and I haven't even mentioned this chart. Nothing. Didn't tell you any stories about it. I didn't, I could, right? I could. I didn't. If you're listening to that, good luck. It's going to get old. We let the machine present. And those videos that we do at night, they range in time from sometimes as short as 10 minutes to, I promise, no more than an hour. On Sundays, they're usually about an hour, no more. On average, depending upon what's happening in the market, 15 to 30 minutes. I'll show you this. Everyone's talking about NVIDIA. Everyone's talking about AMD. And they all want to say they were this, they were that 3-4 months ago. Let me show you something. Bear with me. Let me go find it. I'll bring it in. Our members are listening to this too, so they know. And they may come through on YouTube. Here is the S&P 500. All right, no, that's not what I want. I'm sorry, I'll go find it. I'm on another screen looking here. Let me go find this workspace that I want to show you something, and I'll leave it with this. Okay. I'll tell you what, I'll bring this up here. All right, so this is, maybe I'll just blow up the whole thing. No, I'll do it this way. All right, so we have some writing on here that you want to kind of disregard, right? But here's the S&P 500. If you get this writing, that's for the earlier view. So we have all 500 stocks. And this is on a daily basis. Now, I'm going to sort on percentage return. And we're going to go look at the bad ones. The number one stock is NVIDIA. 82 days ago, Swing Machine went long at 457.51 on November 6th. You didn't need me to tell you to buy NVIDIA or to draw out a moving average or or anything of that sort. The machine bought it. You would have seen that at night. You would have seen it on your machine. Now, whether you took it or not is another question. And it was 82 days ago. So if you had put 10,000 in, you got 8,000. You put, 100,000 in, you're up 80,000. AMD, 79% return. Now, it will do this. Let me see if I can do this here. I'm going to scroll down the purse. Look at all these percentage returns. And these could be long or short. Let me see if I can show you a short one here. Mostly a long, but there are some shorts. Here's a short. It's Pfizer on a daily. Pfizer went short 177 days ago. If you were long Pfizer and you get out, you saved yourself 33%. If you're an aggressive informed trader and you had swing machine and you shorted it, you're up 33%. If you use options, God knows you could be up hundreds of percent. So how many stocks, Don? Now let me check with my crack research team, right? In the garage, I have a bunch of unemployed stockbrokers, so-called stockbrokers that were God knows doing whatever, downtown Josh Brown. I think the guy was selling cars. Nothing against car salesmen, but years ago. But let's scroll down and show you. The profitable, profitable, profitable. Now here's the number of stocks, right? So let's keep going. This is the percentage return. Keep going, keep going. Long and short, all kinds of trend information, everything you need. You don't need me or a crack research team because you're tracking money flow. And with a modicum of risk management. So let's just keep going. All right, so there we are. So well, I don't see the number here. Let's keep going up here. All right, so here it is. Out of 500 stocks, 415 are profitable. All these yellow ones mean he's flat. So let's keep going down. So, and now there are the red ones. I see he's got some losers. Yes, yes. So, but out of 500 stocks, 436 are either profit, 434, 33 are either profitable or flat. And then, yes, there are drawdowns. But notice how small they are. The worst trade is this one, 10%. I think it's Rockwell. He does have losses. He does have drawdowns. But swing machine won't stay wrong for long. He will kick them out. Retail traders, get into this. Oh, it'll come back. Or, you know what, honey, don't worry about it. I know I bought Pfizer, for a trade, but don't worry, it's Pfizer and it'll come back. It's an investment. The old joke. An investment is nothing more than a trade that's gone bad. If you're doing that, good luck. I wish you the best. But remember where we started now almost 2 hours ago. Time. You want to waste your time? Have at it. But you're not going to waste mine. I won't. And I'm not going to tell you, it isn't an interview process. It isn't. But if I get the vibes that you don't have a mature perspective on this, I'm not gonna waste my time. I'm not. Even if you get the funds. So don't assume just because you have time, don't assume just because you have the money that I'm going to mentor you during the Q school. If I get the vibes that you just have an unreal expectation or a reckless expectation, and that's mostly the thing. Somebody's trying to, just get reckless. I'd rather not. So, but I don't think that's the case. It's very, very rare, but we had a gentleman, for instance, he called from the Balkans. He may be listening, but it was back some time ago. So, the Balkans. And I asked them, I said, what is your expectation on a monthly basis? And for his original account. And he said, 2 to 3x. I'm like, 2 to 3x. I'm like, what does he mean? 2 to 3x. And I thought it was like 2 to 3,000. I'm like, 2 to 3,000? No, 2 to 3x. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, well, I expect to, double or triple my trading account. I'm like, oh, that's it? Yeah, yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay. Now he had no trading experience and everything, and he was doing something that they do in Europe. If you're listening in Europe, I'm not a big fan of, but apparently they really like it. It's called the martingale. Some sort of nonsense that if you just keep doubling down every time you lose, that you can't lose. Okay, I'm like, good luck. We just agreed. I'm like, okay, well that's not realistic, and I'm not going to waste your time. So give some thought. If you are gonna want to call and chat with me, I'm going to ask you the same thing. I don't want to know your finances. I don't want to know. I don't need to know. Nobody should know. But what are your expectations on a monthly basis? Give it some thought because I will ask you. And it is what it is, right? I mean, you don't want to waste your time. I don't want to see you waste your time. But that's one of the questions. But is there anything else that I can answer for anybody? We're 12:15. I've got to break away. We got to get back to it. But we've had a very nice. Now, we've been working on this particular program. We've had this program for some time. We've been working on this program to run on Point and Figure, which has been a little bit of a challenge. And so we've been working on this, and we're very, very pleased with where we are right now. And it will become SMC High Frequency Trader HFT2 modified for Point and Figure. And what will happen is it will then, I just want everyone to know, including our members, it will then become a beta strategy. And what we'll do is we'll send it out to all those members that have told us, Don, please send us the betas. Not everyone has the time for it. And then we will all start trading it. And if it passes muster, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, whatever time that is, it will lose the designation of beta. It will go into the library, and then it's available for everybody, right? Everyone's got the same thing, but not everyone has the time that we all have. So, all right. Thank you, everybody. We wish you the best.